Hey guys, welcome to my channel. On today's episode, we're gonna talk all about kettlebells. Specifically, we're gonna talk about what people are doing wrong when it comes to kettlebell training and what you can do to fix the mistakes. I love that gyms nowadays carry kettlebells. Most gyms, I feel like, have a kettlebell station somewhere, but what's not happening are people being trained by kettlebell certified professionals, and they're trying to train themselves and teach themselves how to do it. But it's really important to know what you're doing so that you don't risk injury and you can progress a little bit better and get the best results possible. So let's jump right on in. Mistake number one is doing a squat instead of a hip hinge to move the kettlebell, whether you're doing swings or snatches or cleans. You're gonna get much more power if you're doing a hip hinge, and you're gonna get the power from your glutes and your hamstrings, and you're gonna take less of an emphasis off of your lower back. So make sure you're doing a hip hinge, which is essentially just a really powerful deadlift. Mistake number two that I see all the time is using too much of your arms when you're doing kettlebell swings. You guys, the swing is coming from your butt and your hamstrings. I always tell my clients it's like somebody coming and slapping your tush behind you and you're squeezing up really fast to power up. All your arms are doing is holding that kettlebell kind of like the ropes or a string on a pendulum. So it's just directing it, and then once you get your kettlebell up as high as you need to through the power of your legs, then you can use your arms to throw it back down to get an even more ballistic, powerful movement. Mistake number three is overextension at the top of your swing. You need to finish where you're standing completely up, nice and straight, not when you're arching back. That is gonna put a ton of pressure on your lower back, and that's where a lot of that pain comes from if you feel pain when you are doing a kettlebell swing. Now, how can you fix this? One of my biggest tricks is to set up a camera. Film yourself doing the swing and see where you're stopping at. If you're stopping up nice and straight with a nice tight core and butt nice and tight, then you're doing things correctly. If your shoulders are going backwards over your feet, past your feet, that's where you need to take a look and say, okay, I need to work on this. And then what you can do is have someone stand behind you and place their hand upright so that when you tap their hand, you know that you're upright. And just practice that for a couple of times until you get used to the feeling. Mistake number four is holding the kettlebell incorrectly. Yes, it hurts when you're holding the kettlebell and the kettlebell is laying on your forearm, and a lot of times you end up with bruises. So what I see people doing all the time in order to do that is they flip their wrist back so that they're holding it more off of a shelf. You guys, this is a much more stable position than this for your wrist, right? I mean, that's putting a lot of pressure on that joint when you could have it up nice and straight. This is a correct wrist position, straight from your elbow to your knuckles. This is not. Yes, it's a little bit more comfortable because the kettlebell is not here, but it's way more uncomfortable everywhere else. So push it nice and straight. The kettlebell is gonna rest on your forearm, but as you get used to kettlebells, you'll just get used to that. I promise, it gets easier. And if you don't, grab some kettlebell wrist guards if you're like me and you have super tiny little wrists. And finally, mistake number five. This one is probably one of the scariest because I often hold my breath when I see somebody do this, is having the incorrect position of their arms when they're doing anything overhead. You want, just like your wrist is much more stable when it's nice and straight, your shoulder is too, right? If you're holding your shoulder out here, that's a much weaker position to put it in, and you're gonna risk yourself having a serious shoulder injury. So anytime you're doing something overhead, you wanna finish it up straight up to the sky, not way out here. You want it here, by your ear, nice and straight, not out here. That is terrible from your shoulder, and you are going to risk some major injuries, from a rotator cuff injury to even dislocating your shoulder. So something to think about, not trying to put the fear of God in you, but you wanna make sure that shoulder goes upright. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. I know, I stink. I forgot to record an outro to the show, but what I wanted to say is if you are interested in getting better at kettlebells and making sure that your form is perfecto and you want a coach to make sure that that is done correctly, make sure to head over to fitwomansweekly.net. Over there you'll find my kettlebell program called Strong, which includes a kettlebell clinic so that you can learn all the basic fundamental moves. And I'm here to help you, so you can do a quick little video of how you're doing your exercises. I can take a look and give you the tips so that you know you're doing the work exactly as you should be doing it. Go check it out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I release a new video every couple of days, so don't miss out. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for your support. Love you all. Bye. Mwah!